Steve, a very busy weekend after a busy 4 weeks. We had 4 shows back to back. Thought we was going to have a rest, but no. 7 guys out, spread over 2 days, spread over 4 different platforms. And Friday night was an absolutely phenomenal night for us, a brilliant night for us. Saturday night not so good, but I think everyone did you proud, didn't they?
Yeah, you know what? There was some good fights, wasn't there? And it's always hard when you're in the away corner, but just going through the fights. Obviously, Ashley Mallon had his debut, sold a load of tickets, and got a first round stoppage. So you can't do better than that, you know. I think it was the last punch of the first round which caused the damage to the lad's eye, and they decided not to come out for the second round. So you know, debut, loads of tickets on a big platform and a first round stoppage. I don't think you can ask for better than that. And you know, he was warming into the fight, but you know, he builds up nicely now for when he fights on the VIP show, and he's next out 24th of June on the Bolton show, and I hope he sells as many tickets.
I was going to say, he come out and it was like he was the main event. I mean, the noise that they made for him, 200 tickets I think he sold.
Yeah,
so yeah. It was a good one, that.
Yeah, he was sound. And then the next one, obviously we had the 2 VIP kids, so I was going to get a winner and a loser in that one, unless it was a draw. And you know, it was a surprising result, as in a stoppage. You know, I probably expected someone maybe stopped him, but it might have been 8, 9 and 10. It could have been Nathan, it could have been James, but anyone to stop him as early as that was a surprise. But it was a great combination, started with the uppercut from James, and you know, it was a fair stoppage. So you know, James moves forward. Speaking with Nathan now, he's told me he's retiring, which I can understand. He's had a good career. I wouldn't say it was a great one, but you know, I think he's finished 12 and 2. He's fought on the Sky shows in Eddie's backyard, and that one was out on his own. The only thing I would say, if I've got any regret with Nathan, is that I never really got him a proper good payday, which is unfortunate. But you know, that's what happens in boxing. Some people get a break with the monies and some don't. Unfortunately, Nathan hasn't. He's done most of his fights on my small hall shows, but you know, I think he became proud of his career that he's had. Unfortunately, didn't get win a title, as I say, and didn't get a particularly big payday. But you know, he's done well, and just wish him all the best in the future, whether he stays in boxing or does something else.
And what about James? Where does that leave you? Because that was a final eliminator for the English.
Well, the situation in that obviously would be mandatory to the English, but the English I don't think's been contested. It's Danny Ball and Andrew Tomlinson, and it should have been last week. I don't know what's happened with it, but obviously we'll have to wait for that. So while he's waiting and any other opportunities come up, we'll have to take that for James, you know. So that's where we're at. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have to fight on one of our shows, but to keep busy he might have to do if we can't get him an opportunity on a TV show, which, you know, after that performance I think he deserves. So that's where we are with them too. And then obviously a win in the weight corner, always very, very satisfying, and it was well deserved by Kane Gardner. You know, 40 boxed beautifully on Friday night.
Home soil, but he was the away fighter, wasn't he?
Yeah. Conor Walker is a Wasserman fighter, and I think he'd sold more tickets than Kane. He had he good support up from Wolves. And
I'm from the northwest because of his time up at Hattons. He's got a big fan base up here. Right.
Well, listen, he's a nice kid, and he's a good boxer. He certainly puts the pressure on, doesn't he? And he never stopped trying, even though after the first couple of rounds, I think Kane was one step ahead of him and led him a merry dance at times. And unless he got him on the ropes, he just wasn't landing at all, was he? So
that was a brilliant performance by Kane.
Good performance by Kane, and it's not something we always see off him, is it? Because he does like a fight, but he did prove on Friday night that he can box as well as fight, and he lived up to the name Sugar Sweet, didn't he? You know what I mean? It was a sweet performance, and like I just mentioned about Nathan, he's been in a simple position. He's had hard fights, but not really had the financial rewards that others had for the similar sorts of fights. So I think now, you know, I've got to get him a big fight, hopefully maybe a British title or something like that. You know, we put his name forward a couple of times for Dalton Smith when they've been looking for managers, but they've never picked him. You know, hopefully moving forward, whether Dalton wins it outright and gives it up or whatever, you know, we can try and get on with the board and get him in a position where he does get a good fight and well paid. Something else might crop up, but they're the sort of fights that he needs now. He's proven that he can box at that level, and you know, hopefully he can win when he moves up again. So yeah, something to look forward to with Kane.
Yeah, definitely. And then Saturday night, 3 fighters spread on 2 different shows. Should we start on the Manchester Arena one?
Yeah. Well, actually, I was going out to a function with the missus on Saturday, but because the lads were on early, I went down hoping to see them both. Well, Casey Brown got on at 5 o'clock, so managed to watch that fight. Obviously, he was up against it in the away corner, as we mentioned, and fighting Sky Prospects, ABA champion. But you know, we had the experience as a pro, and we thought it was an opportunity to get a win. And you know, I think he lost the first 2 rounds, but for me, he come back and I thought won the third and put him down at the end of the third, and I've looked back at it since and it was definitely a knockdown, so he should have won that one 10-8, and then in the last round I had him winning that in the last round, so without the knockdown I had it 38-38, so I was flabbergasted when it was 40-37, and you know, look back, as I said, it was a knockdown. So for me, he won that fight, you know, and it's just unfortunate because you come away with a loss instead of a win, and it changes things dramatically. So it's just unfortunate for him, but it's a good experience for him. I know he's going to have some time out now, because I think he's got a baby on the way and he's moving, so you know, he's got a bit of time to rest, and then he'll come back and obviously more than likely be on one of our VIP shows, and then be ready to take another opportunity like that when it comes. But he's shown he can compete on the big stage, and he did really well against a good kid. Just wish he'd started off earlier.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. And then the always game, the always exciting little Brian Phillips putting in another gallant performance, but the scorecard didn't tell the true story. Yes, he lost the fight, not denying that, are we? But I think it was.
I think they call him like a one-sided competitive fight, don't you? The kid just had the edge on him, and I was down there, and it got put back a little bit, and the next thing you know, I got told off Brian that it had been cut from an 8 to a 6, so they made that decision without even consulting the manager. I went out because really we knew his better rounds would have been the later rounds, because he had the experience into doing that, and he does warm into fight, so really wanted to keep it as 8. I went looking around, and it was one of those that you either took it as a 6 now, which was about 6:15, or you'd have to wait till the end of the night, which obviously no one wanted to do, so we took it down to a 6, and you know, he wouldn't have won the fight because he was behind, but those 2 rounds he could have swung it around, and you know, they were the rounds where we was thinking he was going to do his stuff. But listen, it happens in boxing, doesn't it? He's not the first person who's been cut down, and he won't be the last, but you know, those 2 rounds probably made a bit of a difference. But fair play to that Rhys Edwards, he was a lot sharper than we thought he was, and he picked his shots nicer, so really in truth, he forced to fight Brian, but the cleaner work was from Rhys Edwards, and deserved winner. But Brian again showed that he can compete in that company and put a great performance on, and you know, he's incapable of being in a bad fight, isn't he, Brian? Yeah.
Well, his last fight was against the kid who was fighting on the same card, the chief support. I think it was Mikey Gomez against Levi Giles.
Yeah.
And when you consider he pushed him all the way in the
there was nothing in that fight,
super featherweight, wasn't
yeah, nothing in that fight. That Rhys Edwards just a little bit sharper than Brian, and deservedly won. But as I say, Brian's coming out with loads of credit, hasn't he?
Yeah, at least he got a bit of credit from the commentators, where I think Casey never got any, and it was a bit sad that, like you said, it was a good argument for him winning that fight, especially if they would have counted the knockdown.
Yeah, well, obviously I've not heard the commentating. I watched a bit of Brian's fight on my phone driving home, and then the last couple of rounds I managed to get. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And then the last fight of the night, Jack Flatley down in Telford, which he had a terrible start. He was pummeled in that first round. I don't know there, but you know, he said like he got no ring walk music, and he was bit
walked out before it even started, that's what it was.
I'm not sure what's happened on it, obviously, because I wasn't there, and I just got back from Badoo to watch the fight, so I didn't see the ring entrances, even the Delilah one, which I think it's a great walk out there, but yeah, I think he was an angry man, wasn't he? And he paid for it in that first round where he was pelted, and you know, he did well to survive and then work his way back into the fight. But fair play to Nathan Heaney, he's improved as a fighter, and he deservedly won it. But again, a lot of credit from Flatley. I think he boxed a little bit smart and moved his head a bit more. He might have been with me shout, but when you look back at it, well done to Nathan Heaney, put a good performance in, as did Jack, showing what a game fighter he is.
It was a good fight to watch.
And against a bigger man, you know, he's only a light middleweight and moved up, and I think Nathan's a big middleweight, so I think with Jack now he's going to have a rest, because it's a really hard fight for him, and then you know, get down to light middleweight, probably get a win on one of our shows, and then have another go. He's had plenty of opportunities, and he'll get some more with the way he fights, but you know, how many times you ought to see him shit punishment like that, you know.
He enjoys it, he was wooing in between the rounds, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, it's not good for your brain cells, is it? So you know, I think working on a bit of slipping and sliding and head movement will be the main thing for Alex when he comes back. But you know, again, and I keep repeating himself, you couldn't be any prouder of them, because they've all gone and tried, and you know, it's hard in the away corners, isn't it? You know, you're always up against it, but you know, there is times when you go and upset the apple cart like Kane Garner did, and then it opens up doors for you. So you know, it gets to the point where you can't keep fighting on our small hall shows, and you want to do something and believe in yourself. You've got to go and take these opportunities and hope that the luck rides with you.
Yeah, that we're going to leave it at that, but we've got a couple of shows kicking off next month.
Yeah, April the 8th in Wakefield, and a lot of debutants and thing kids on that there, and then April the 15th in Hull, where we've got like Sonny Taylor topping the bill, but proving hard to match, but we'll get there.
Right, well I'll come and catch up with you in a few weeks and we can go through all that. But thanks for that, Steve. Catch up with you soon.
Cheers, Lee. Thanks, bye.
Nice one, mate.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.